All right, hey, Shalom, Makim. As you know, I'm Yabatazah. I come out here every week to prophesy the downfall of America, to let the Negro Latinos and Native American Indians know that you're the true Hebrew Israelites of the Bible. All right, I want to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the elders of Great Millstone. Much love and respect to you brothers out there doing the work of sincerity and truth. Okay, as I said, we come out here to prophesy the downfall of America, aka also known as Babylon, according to the Bible in the book of Revelation, spiritually known as Sodom and Egypt. Egypt representing the house of bondage, the double straits. Okay, and Sodom, spiritually known as Sodom, is the homosexuality that is condoned here in America. Okay, and then the word America comes from a man named Amerigo Vespucci, which when you go into the word Amerigo, it goes back to the Latin Spanish word amargo, which means bitter. So it's nothing that we're just coming up trying to hate for unnecessary reasons, as if we don't know what's going on. If you look at the history of America, it's been nothing but bloodshed and injustice. Okay, persecution, oppression, just complete madness, murder, evil. And that's the real about it, and I'm talking about the establishment of America, not prior to when the indigenous people were here, which are Hebrew Israelites, okay, the Native American Indians. Okay, all you Native American Indians, you are the Hebrew Israelites. You come from the tribe of Gad and various other tribes, but the mass of the Israelites that came over here to this side of the world are the Northern Kingdom, which consists of the Latin. We consider the Latin tribes. Okay, even though the Native American Indians didn't speak Latin, you were one of the tribes that came back over here with Ephraim, all the way down to Issachar. But the Ephraimites, known as the Puerto Ricans today, and Issachar, known as the so-called Mexicans. Okay, even though, like I said, from the establishment of America, that's when a mass wickedness was being produced here. So they have nothing to show forth as being righteous or anything good. So like I said, we ain't just coming out here. I ain't just coming out here just talking down, just to talk down. This is the reality of it's written in history. This is the reality of what we're living in. Okay, and you can see it to this very day. It's still going on. Murders are being committed, the injustice, oppression, okay, the afflictions. So I just want to go into everything that's going on over there between Iran and the America, and Russia and things of that nature, and just basically what the Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is trying to tell you by way of the mouth of the prophets, the men of the Lord that are coming on the highways and the byways. We're not just out here just to stand out here. We're out here to actually give a message, to break down the scriptures to the best of our ability, letting you people know what's really going on. Prepare yourself, because it's just going to get worse. If you people think it's hard right now, just imagine what's going to happen here come in the future when everything breaks down. The collapse of the economy. Okay? So I'm going to jump out with Micah 2:10. It says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction." Okay? So it's saying, arise ye and depart. And depart from what? Depart from this current existence, the ways, the traditions, the customs, the ways of life that you reside in. Okay? Arise ye and depart. Okay? And even if, back in the old times, if like today in our time is different. We're going through certain motions that are predicted or prophesied in the book of Revelations, like the first woe, second woe, and the third woe. Those are representation of the First World War, Second World War, and the future that's about to come, and that we're already in the making, the Third World War. Okay, these are certain wars that you're not going to be able to escape. The Third World War is going to be encompassed throughout the whole earth, man. Every part of the land is going to be affected. It's not going to be like in World War II, World War I, whatever. Those two wars occurred over there in Europe. And then during the Pearl Harbor, there were Japanese attacked, the American soil, which they considered Hawaii. Okay, but that is all going to come to where it's going to be fully encompassed the whole earth, the Third World War. Okay, So you ain't gonna be able to escape that, man. You know, you ain't gonna be able to arise and depart for the, you know, and go into a different land, because in Mexico, you got some guys that preach going into the land of Mexico to avoid what's coming to America. Okay, everything's gonna be touched, man. There's gonna be chaos, insurrection, destruction going on over there in Mexico, just like it will be in Canada, just like it will be in Hawaii. Not too long ago, a couple of years back, Hawaii got that false alert of possible ballistic missile, you know, about to hit, man. Which we know as a ICBM missile, a nuclear warhead. You know, it was false, but you know, still, you know, you ain't gonna be able to run and go or pick up and move to another area and find safety and be all right. The Lord even said, even though they dig into hell or go into the skies of heaven or the depths of the water or the rocks, you're still gonna be found out, man. So no matter where you go, you're gonna meet destruction. Destruction's gonna be there waiting for you. Okay? But it's still giving us a way on how to maneuver, and we're telling you what you have to do. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. That's right, this is not your rest. America's not a place for us to be kicking back and kicking up our feet. You know? This is Slovakia. Let's see where it is. Yeah, like as I said, this is not a place where we're gonna be just kicking back, you know, because being in that type of mentality is where people get destroyed. Being complacent, comfortable, you know, especially in a dangerous situation, a dangerous area, okay, which is full of hazards and things of that nature. And America's full of hazards, man. This is in the book of Amos, chapter 6. And I'm going to start at verse 1. Woe to them that are at ease in Zion. That's right, see? So woe unto you that are at ease in Zion. Okay? Why? Because this is not your rest, man. You're not supposed to get comfortable here. You're not supposed to be complacent. This is all you're supposed to be doing is playing out what the Most High put on you. You know, the curses and you know, serving as a slave. But other than that, that's it. You're supposed to be seeking out Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, seeking out Him 10 times more. You know, getting right with the Heavenly Father and His Son Yahweh Shai. You know, and everything else is left to Yahweh Shai to do. And that, what's coming with that is destruction, man. You know, it says, woe to them that are at ease in Zion and trust in the mountain of Samaria. You know, you got all these Israelites in the old time, they would put their trust in all these other nations, these other gods, besides Yahweh Shai. You know? It says, which are named chief of the nations to whom the house of Israel came. You know, they've always tried to find comfort in all these different other nations. I'm going to bring out this one that we always bring out in the book of Isaiah. Well, I'm going to bring this one out. This is Isaiah 30 and 1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh, that take counsel but not of me, and that cover what they covering but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. So that's the same thing as them being at ease, man, because they're putting their trust in men. They're putting their trust in a certain government, a certain governing body, okay? Which the governing body in our time is a so-called white man. He's the one that governs all things, man. You know? It's not you Negro, Latinos, and Native American Indians that govern anything. You know? You may think you do, but you know, in reality, you don't. That's why when you see a cop coming up, pulling up behind you, you get all scared. Even though you may have your insurance, you have your registration, you have your driver's license, everything's good, but you still tense up because you know that Esau governs this world, man. He has the power to either let you go or kill you, or let you live or kill you, man. You know? Why do you think they're out here killing so-called Negro Latinos and Native American Indians? Because it shows you that they still got that power. They still got that sting, man. They're still showing you that they do want smoke. If you're gonna bring that kind of attitude, you're gonna be trying to show that you got some kind of power or authority, they're gonna put your ass to death. And that's by way of the curses, man. Yahweh Bashim Yahushua told us that these things were gonna be, man. But like I said, he did tell us not to arise and depart, for this is not your rest. Okay? Because he's telling you by way of me that you're gonna be all right. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and bring it before I forget. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 5, which is a manifest token of righteous judgment of the Most High, that you may be counted worthy of the kingdom of the Most High, for which ye also suffer, seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you, and to you who are troubled, rest with us. Okay? To you that are troubled, rest with us. Because you're going to find rest and comfort in the scriptures, man, as it is written. Okay? You're not going to find rest or comfort in anything else. You're not going to find it in your woman. You ain't going to find it in your children or your home or your job or a certain amount of women that you may have on the side. Okay? You're not going to find that. You're going to find it by way of having this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. That shall be the stability of thy times, man. The strength of thy salvation. That's going to be our stability. So if you have stability, what does that bring? It brings you a sense of peace, a sense of being able to rest. You can sleep at night. You're not stressed out. Okay? Let me continue to read in 2 Thessalonians 1 and 7. And to you who are troubled, rest with us, when the Lord Yahweh shall be revealed from heaven with his mighty angels, in flaming fire, taking vengeance on them that know not the Most High, and that obey not the gospel of our Lord Yahweh Mashiach. Okay? And you got thousands upon thousands of people here in the earth, if not millions of people on the earth that don't know the Most High, nor do they obey the gospel. Okay? Which means that he's coming back to judge, man. And his judgment is not going to be by way of sitting down and having a council with him. That he's doing that right now. Right now, that is done right now. That's why I said. That's why the scriptures say in Isaiah, was it 55, 58, and 1? Cry aloud, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people Israel their transgressions. Okay. So he ain't gonna. When he comes back, he's not coming back to sit down and have a council with you. That's being done right now by way of the mouth of the prophets. Lord willing, I'm part of that. But a prophet is somebody that speaks before something comes to pass. So I'm telling you, by way of the Spirit, that World War III is being performed right now. It's in the works. RFID chip, which is known as the mark of the beast in the book of Revelation, chapter 13, is it's in the works. Okay? And they're getting ready to implement that, push that on you people, man. And it don't matter what nation you are, everybody's going to have to take it. And if you resist his will, guess what? You're going to be put to death. You're going to be tortured, as the scriptures talk about it, man. Okay? It says, 2 Thessalonians 1 and 9, who shall be punished with the everlasting destruction from the presence of the Lord and from the glory of his power. And that's what we're trying to escape, man. We don't want to be destroyed. And that's what I want to go into. The whole thing that's going on with Iran. Yahweh Shah is not coming back and going to do it himself completely. He's going to use these other nations to destroy the great horde that sitteth upon that scarlet red beast, man. Okay? By way of thermonuclear destruction. The ICBM missiles. Okay? Missiles in general. Artillery. They're gonna bring out all their arsenal, man. The Iranians, the Japanese, the Chinese, the Russians, America, Israel, everybody's gonna go to war, man. That's the Third World War. In the Third World War, you cannot run to any part of the earth and escape it. You're going to be touched. There's going to be insurrections. Every type of form of violence is going to be accomplished on the earth in this time. Let me go ahead and bring it out here in the book of Daniel, chapter 12, verse 1. It says, "And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book." Written in the book of what? Meaning the book of life. Because this is a future prophecy. This is not something that's just written there in the book of, or by way of the prophet Daniel. Speaking about any other particular time. This is an end time prophecy, man. This is in the book of Revelations. It's going to make mention of Michael. Okay? This is Revelations 12 and 7. And there was war in heaven. Right? And that war in heaven is talking about here before your eyes, man. It's not talking about spiritually in the unseen man's eye. The angels on the right hand and the angels on the left hand are fighting up right now in the heavens. That's a false doctrine. Okay? The left hand side with you people, the left hand side spirits or angels that you would call demons and stuff like that. Those are not up in the heavens fighting against the will of the Most High or His Son Yahweh Shai. Okay? They're doing the bidding of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. They're not out there just doing whatever they want. They're not bucking up against His will. They're not trying to overthrow Yahweh or Yahweh Shai. Okay? It says, and there, Revelations 12 and 7, and there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. Okay? So there's going to be a great war in heaven, man. In the heavens, right here, in the sky. Which what we know is the sky. We'll say it like that. Okay? That's what's coming, man. It's a trouble, a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation. Okay? Can you imagine? That's something that nobody can really imagine, because every war is horrible, man. There's death is involved. You know? Back in the old times, it was by way of swords and axes, and, you know, javelins and, you know, rocks and stones and, you know, using fire cannons, you know, bow and arrows. That was some horrific times, man. Imagine that. But the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai is telling us about this time is going to be greater. It's going to be by way of fire. You know, it's going to be by way of fire. Okay. Let's see. This is Isaiah chapter 9, verse 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. See? But this time shall be of burning and fuel of fire. Okay? Which, like I said, you know, during the process of time, the evolution of weapons, you know, being designed, they started moving into using fire, okay, using fuel and fire. You know, you watch when they try to take down a fortress, you know, they would use like a big log and with the sharp point on the end of it, and they would ignite it in fire, and they would be slamming the entrance of that great door, because at the same time it's applying heat to it, and it's lighting up on fire, but at the same time it's penetrating, and that's why it's going to speed up the process of knocking down that door, you know. Or they would throw the fire, you know, they would you know, on top of the fortress, they would pour down, you know, fuel, some form of fuel, being fat, you know. This fat is a form of fuel, and they would throw the flame and ignite the enemies on fire, man. You know, I don't know the specific names for those things, but you brothers know what I'm talking about. But now in this time, it's at a higher level. That form of weaponry evolved to a more advanced technology, man. That could destroy thousands and thousands of miles of land. People included, animals included. Water is vaporized, water is contaminated, destroyed. The land is destroyed, okay, because it's full of the radiation. You know, that's the time we're coming in. That's why it's so different from the past wars, man. You know, and in World War II is when they dropped the bomb. The Americans went over there to Japan and dropped the atomic bombs, man. All right, which destroyed. You know, they killed the people. The land was destroyed. Animals were destroyed. You know, in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, everybody knows that. That's a famous thing that is well known within history. Okay, then you got what's his name, Oppenheimer, or Oppenheimer, I believe that's his name, that said that I become death. You know, and he was one of the ones that orchestrated all that. He was the one that took part. He was a physicist, right? He was into all that stuff, man. He helped design, create all that. You know, you could watch his interview on the thing. I forget what his full name is. I think J. Oppenheimer. And you know, he said when all that went down during World War II, a little bit after World War II, with Pearl Harbor and the Japanese, he said, "I become death." You know, and people go into it. You know, he was what's it called? He was into Hinduism. So he was you know, he went into the Sanskrits regarding that, the whole religion and their false gods. That there's quoting that one of the scripts, or one of the scripts within that doctrine, that religion. Okay, but it's still prophecy, because Esau, we know, is a so-called white man, and he's the one that is the waster. Okay, and he was the one that was blessed with the source. So whether it be out of the scriptures or from another religion, it still fit. It was still prophetic. It was still him speaking out of his own mouth what he was, which is a destroyer. Throughout World War II, the Germans were destroyers. The Americans here were destroyers. Okay? It don't matter. You know? But that man is J. something Oppenheimer. And he destroyed, he quoted that. I become death. And that's why in the book of Revelation it goes into the pale horse. You know? It goes into all that. And death followed him, or who rode the pale horse with death, you know. So everything is being beautifully put in line here in America, man, and even over there in Europe, in the Middle East, everything is following according to biblical prophecy. It's of no coincidence, man. People can't argue and say the Bible is not true, because the Bible speaks of these things, man. Okay? Where was I? I'm going to read this one again in Daniel 12. It says, "And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered. Everyone that shall be written or found written in the book." What book is it talking about? The Bible, man. The elect. All right. So I'm gonna hold that one in Revelations 12 still, and I'm gonna find a script here. Revelations 20 and 11. And I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away, and there was found no place for them. Now who were they, or who was that man's face that they ran away from? Let me get this one. This is Revelation 6 and 15. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. Who is the Lamb? Yahweh Shai. This is Revelations 5 and 6. And I'll start at verse 5. And one of the elders said unto me, weep not, behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, hath prevailed to open the book, and to loose the 7 seals thereof. And I beheld, lo, in the midst of the throne and of the 4 beasts, and in the midst of the elders stood a lamb, and it had been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of the Most High, sent forth into all the earth. And he came and took the book out of the right hand of him that sat upon the throne. That's talking about Yahweh Shai. This is John chapter 1, verse 29. The next day, John seeth Yahweh Shai coming unto him, and saith, behold, the Lamb of God, which taketh away the sins of the world. Talking about the sins of Israel. Okay, the elect. So Yahweh Shai is the Lamb of the Most High. So they're going to try to hide from the face of him. Right? It says in Revelations 20 and 11, and I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away, and there was found no place for them. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before the Most High, and the books were opened, and another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books according to their works. And the sea gave, right there, the books were open, and every man was judged according to their works. Okay, that is the book of life. I'll bring out another one, but give me 1 second, since I made mention of what you have done. Yeah, you're going to be judged according to your works. Okay. This is 2 Corinthians 5 and 10. For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Yahweh Shai Mashiach, that Lamb, right? Because he's coming back to judge. He's coming, and the judgment is not going to be with you regarding counseling or speaking with you or pleading with you. He's doing that right now. It's going to be an automatic destruction or deliverance. For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Yahweh Shai Mashiach, that every one may receive the things done in his body, according to that he had done, whether it be good or bad. You see? Going back. I'm going to have to let go of some of the scripts. Let's see. So I'm going to read Revelations 20 and 13. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them, and they were judged every man according to their works. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. See? That's the same thing that is spoken of in Daniel 12 and 1. That's that Third World War. What we know as the Third World War. Okay. John the Revelator, he didn't know it by that. You know, they call it the Third Woe. All right. The Third Woe, which represents, you know, ultimately destruction. You know, anguish, distress, torture, torment. Is not the flame going to torment you? Ultimately, what's going to be your demise? Destruction. Death. You got some guys saying that woe doesn't mean death or destruction. It ultimately leads to that. Okay? Else there wouldn't have been a first or second woe. What if the first or second woe lead to? Death. It led to people being destroyed. The third woe is going to lead to people being destroyed. But in the midst of that third woe, that flame is going to torment them. Okay? What does the scripture say by way of gnashing and gnawing of the teeth? Because it's going to be painful, man. To be burned by way of an ICBM missile. Okay? And then we all know that the Most High, He's a controller of time. They control time. So they can allow your spirit remain in your body for however long they desire, man. People think they have the power to keep their own spirit or to choose when they're able to live or die. When the Most High pulls your card, that's it, man. You're going to die. And it's up to Him when He decides when your spirit's going to leave that body. He can leave you as a vegetable. He can leave you however, man. You know, there's an account of King Saul that attempted suicide, or he was shot by way of an arrow by the Philistines. And he asked his arm bearer to kill him because his soul still remained in him. So, but the arm bearer declined. So instead he pierced his own self, man. He took his own life. Okay. Even Antiochus Epiphanes, he was in the process of trying to go and attack Jerusalem, and fell off that chariot, man, and he jacked himself up. But his spirit still remained in him. In the process of that, he was being destroyed from the inside out. You know, with infection, they said that he was stinky. You know, he was starting to stink. His own men couldn't bear carrying him. You know. So it's up to the Most High, man. You know. But it says, and whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. And we don't want to be cast into that lake of fire. And that's what's coming with the whole thing that's going on with the Iranians, man. With the Iranians, the Russians, North Korea, South Korea, all them people, China, Japan, they're all ready to go to war. You know, this ain't no game, man. That's why it says, "Woe unto you that are at ease in Zion." Even the heathen are at ease, man. Let me see if I can find that one. You know, everybody runs at the mouth.